Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to unbox something and we're going to paint something. So I have in my possession the new alcohol inks from Ranger, Tim Holtz, and they are the kind of the pearlescent ones, and I've had this for a couple of weeks. But I haven't opened it because I made myself a deal that I had to finish some other videos before I let myself do this. And so now I finally did that. And now I'm taking a look. So these are, you know what, it's been so long that I don't even remember what was so amazing about these. But they're kind of like, I think they're supposed to be more opaque, and they're pearlescents, and so I think they're more like the mixatives, but they're colors. So the mixatives that we have are, that they already have, are the white, bronze, silver, I can't remember all the ones, and basically, I mean, Ranger calls them mixatives, and Pinata, Jacquard, calls them just white. So, this is the same kind, it's just opaque. And I know I have a couple of videos kind of demonstrating that, and I have a whole playlist on alcohol inks, so I'll just link to that there. So there's lots of videos in that one, and you can kind of get some more information from those. Oh, yeah, look at that. Alcohol Pearls. And these just came out. I mean, they got them in on Shades of Clay in Canada. And I think you can order, they ship to the States as well, but it's shadesofclay.com. And they have lots of different things, but they have alcohol inks. And they do carry, I think, the full range of Jacquard Pinata ones. And I got a massive jar, not a massive, but a big jar of the white. And I think you can get their other alcohol inks from this brand in this big one as well. And then I got that set, with the Baja Blue and whatnot. So, and I do, if you're interested, I kind of have a little bit of a DIY mixative. They don't, I'll just tell you, they're not exactly like the mixatives. They kind of react a little bit different, but they do give a really cool effect. And this paint is a strategy to knock it loose. So they do have a little bit of a different effect, but it's still a really cool effect. So you can check that out, and that will be in the playlist as well. And I made some with white ink. And so the paint just kind of gets dry in there, so all you need to do is just knock it on a hard surface. And it's the same thing I do with gesso. And I haven't used these for a little bit. I did a whole theme of alcohol inks and a giveaway and stuff. So anyways, this is what I have. I don't have the full range of the Ranger ones, but I have, quite a few. And then I have the Jacquard ones. And some people have a preference which ones they use. And you know what? I just care about colors. Some of them are easier to use than others, I realize, but I don't know. If it's a color I want, I'll make it work. That's how I feel. Same as my DIY ones, If I can't find a color I want, I can maybe try to make a color. But let's look at these and open these up, and then we're going to paint. I'm going to paint. You're going to watch, or not, but if I was you, I would stick around. Okay, let's start with, obviously my sets are all messed up, but I don't care. So these have the little ball in them, like the mixatives do. I'm going to wear gloves, crazy, I know. I never wear gloves, and I always talk about how I don't like wearing gloves. But I've got these nails on, and alcohol ink will not come off of those. So let's just play around here. That sounds like it's pretty mixed up. I'm going to zoom in even more for you guys, so you can really see that. So that is smolder. I was making DIY gesso, and now these gloves are got white powder all over them. And then my alcohol does too. This one is mineral. Look at that shimmer. Can you see that shimmer? I hope it's not going out of focus with me, you know, lollygagging around here. Oh, that one is, what did I say? Mineral. Okay, sorry, I'm going to stop trying to, it's just because I'm really zoomed in. Maybe what I'll do is I'll zoom out, and then I'll actually, when I edit, I will zoom in. Because if I zoom in with the camera, it's just, oh. So that one is NB. Here's the other green one, so it's two green ones. Sublime. So there's this shimmer in there. It doesn't feel like there's any kind of thickness in there. And that one was Sublime. This one is Tranquil. Let's just make sure that all that shimmer is... Oh, look at these colors. Whoops. So if I was to just compare them with a similar color, so I have this Botanical, which might be a similar green. So there's the Botanical. And you can see it even spreads out a little bit different. And then I've got Celestial. I feel like these will work a little on more surfaces than the alcohol inks will, than the traditional alcohol inks will. So that one there was Celestial, as I said. This one is Alchemy. I'm going to shake that one. Yeah, you can just see a little bit of a shimmer, and it just needs to be kind of incorporated into the rest of it. This one is Splendor. Oh, that looks nice. This one here is, looks like it would be really awesome. Enchanted. Oh, look at that. That's like a fluorescent. That's awesome. I'm going to have so much fun with these. Intrigue. And I've got a new thing that I'm going to show you guys. I started it before Christmas even. And this one was called Intrigue and Enchantment. And then let's do this purple one here, Villainous. I'm going to shake it a little bit. So you can see this one's mixing a little bit. So that's cool. So they do mix a little bit different. So we're going to just see what these colors. And then I'm going to actually put a little bit of my blending solution in there. So I have some DIY blending solution. Again, it's in that playlist. There's a wealth of information in that playlist. Hopefully. So I did go and get myself the blending solution. This is really expensive blending solution, and it's really easy to just make your own, and it works pretty good. So I'm just going to add a touch of that. That doesn't seem to do anything. That's moving out. So they don't work like traditional watercolors or alcohol inks. But I think using them along with the traditional alcohol inks, I think they could be super awesome. and you don't need to, of course. So I'm going to compare this one to raspberry. So this Intrigue with raspberry. So you can see how that works. Let's actually mix this one here with a little bit of, oh my goodness, okay. So I had this regular alcohol ink raspberry, and then I put this Villainous new one, Alcohol Pearl, and so they actually, on top of each other, they act really well. But with a blending solution, not really anything. So that's interesting. So you don't, maybe you need to use blending solution with this? I don't know. Let's try this yellow on top of this green and see what happens. And let's mix some of this orange in here. Going here. Let's see what we can do. Where'd that green go? So you can just use some regular isopropyl rubbing alcohol in place of blending solution, but I add a little bit of what's that stuff called? Glycerin. I add a little bit of glycerin, and it just helps it to move, and it extends it a little bit. And so alcohol evaporates really quickly, so it just helps it to not evaporate quite as quickly. So you can see that there is little kind of granules in there, I guess. So it dries faster. So like if I was to take, let's take this blue. Oh, some of these don't want to open very well. So this is a regular indigo, just a regular alcohol ink. So like as soon as I touch that with some alcohol, we can see an effect right away, right? But these ones, I think they dry a lot faster, it looks like. So now I'm adding the Alcohol Pearl Tranquil in there. And before that dries up, I'm just gonna... So it does react with some alcohol ink, but you have to get to it faster. So it actually is very similar to the stuff I made, like the metallic DIY alcohol inks that I made, because it almost like this reminds me of like acrylic paint or something, like it kind of dries up, right? Which is not, this is not at all what happens with regular alcohol inks. It's completely different. But when you can mix it, so this one has a little bit of mixture in there with the green, the Sublime, the Pearl Sublime, and the Pearl Smolder. So you can do some really cool textures in there because it does dry up. So it makes it so that you can kind of do some textures that you might not be able to do with regular alcohol inks because they just constantly react, right? Whereas the pearls react differently depending on the stage of dryness that they're in, if that makes sense. And this is just from me opening them right now and just playing around with them. So I'm sure, you know, there's going to be lots of people who are going to discover other things, and I will discover other things as well as I go. I want to see what it's like to do like with an air can. And because I'm really enjoying this purple color, So I'm a little bit unsure as to how to do this because I don't know how much I can work with this. But it is really cool that, okay, oh, it's not working. Oh, yeah. You'll have to get to it a little bit quicker. I need my Lazy Susan here. Should have had my Lazy Susan. Okay, so they react to the air just as good. Oh, you know what? I didn't put blending solution on that. That's why. Just need to blow that out a little bit more. Yeah, so that, you can't move it. Whereas if that was regular alcohol ink, I could move that. So I had the blending solution so it went out in a nice petal. This is not what I want. So I'm going to try to cover that up a little bit with alcohol inks. This is like a periwinkle, cool peri. Okay, yeah, I was right. It's a periwinkle. Good call. Yeah, that doesn't do a whole lot. That's okay. Just got to learn how to work with these. Splendor. So I do still want the blending solution in there because otherwise it doesn't move. Oh yeah, see, look at how that moves nicely with the air, with the blending solution. And it didn't move very nicely without the blending solution, so, okay. So it doesn't do the same thing, but the blending solution is still a good thing to have with these. Ugh. Let's try, okay, you know what, I'm going to get my Lazy Susan. And I'm going to see if I can fix that area, because I really don't like it. Yeah, so they are quite transparent still. Oh, okay, so that's on top of a pearl, so it doesn't move as much, but that's really cool for layering flower petals or something like that. So that's kind of awesome. So that is a regular alcohol ink on top of a pearl. So that is pretty cool. Still with blending solution. Yeah, I like that. Oh, you guys. Hello. I'm still not using the Lazy Susan. I'm whatever. Okay, so these are awesome for layering. So they layer completely different than regular alcohol inks, and they layer really good with regular alcohol inks. So I have this here. Don't love it, so I'm going to take a little napkin, and I'm just going to, because this is regular alcohol ink, I'm thinking I can kind of clean it a little bit. And maybe fix it just a little bit here. So I'm going to do that again. And just try to draw that out. You need to have a few different hands here. You need to have more than two. So if you can get an extra hand from somewhere, that's great. Because as you can see, you have to kind of, you've got this, then you got to do this, then you got to do the air can. Never mind if you're going to use a straw and start blowing things. That's just crazy, crazy right there. I think I'm just going to leave that. Oh, I don't like it. Shoot. I'm going to try to bring it back in. See what happens. So it might look like, oh, she's doing this and she's got to grab this and too much of a pain. Just no, it's really fun, and don't let that scare you. Just keep doing it. Look at that. Oh. That is wonderful. I don't even want to put a green thing in there. So I could just do, this is asking for trouble, so I'm going to actually just put a little bit in there and take my brush and just do a stem. There we go. So when you're using alcohol inks, you use rubbing alcohol in the same way that you would use water. So to clean your brush, you clean it with rubbing alcohol, or isopropyl alcohol, whatever you want to call it. And you can paint that way too. All right, so that is that one. Now we're going to try and see what they look like on black. And I've got a new surface here that I haven't tried. I tried on black canvas in a previous video to do alcohol inks, and I think I've done a couple on black, I'm not sure. So what you need to do is you need to make it opaque, which is why you would always add the white. But I want to see, or white paint or acrylic, whatever, I want to see what the pearls do on the black without adding that. So let's go do this, let's do this yellow. And I don't even know what this is going to be like, because this is actually chalkboard type cardstock from the dollar store. But I thought, you never know, it could have a cool surface for alcohol inks. Why not try it? It was $1, seriously. Okay, that is cool. I didn't add anything to that, so I'm not sure what happens when that dries, but we've got a butterfly, half of a butterfly, so let's continue on. Wasn't planning on doing a butterfly, but I am now. A little bit more. Did I add any blending solution to that? I don't know if I did or not. I think I did. Okay, this butterfly's got some issues, but that's okay. So that's cool. I am thinking that could look really good on top with like the snow cap. Let's get out the snow cap here. This is going to cover it up, but it's okay. We'll see. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, so first of all, this paper works awesome. I haven't used this paper yet. I've had it for a while. I was just waiting to do some kind of, okay, so this is turned in from a butterfly to some kind of abstract flower. It's all good. It's all good. Go run and don't walk to your nearest dollar store and see if you can get some of this paper. I'm going to show you the packaging. I just got to go find it. And then you can look for the same thing, because this works for a black surface, which is not easy to find for alcohol inks. Okay, now we're going to go to this pink, because I feel like I really need to see what this color looks like. I did try a couple different surfaces where I painted a canvas black and then sprayed it with like some kind of like glossy seal kind of thing, like a few different ones. And I have that video up as well. And then just on paint as well, on black paint. And it all kind of works. Some of it works better than others, and some of it just has a different effect than others. You know, it all just depends on what you are looking for. Okay, what I haven't tried yet is, see, so you can do some really different, so the white brings this out even more. But I like that it shows even without putting the white in there. Like, that's a really cool thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Tranquil, put some white down, put the Tranquil, so this is a pearl, and then I'm going to do that. Oh, look at that. That is wonderful. And then let's see what happens if we layer something on top of that. So let's see. Let's do this green pistachio. This green is looking like it's leaking. That's not good. Because we've got an opaque surface there. That, oh, seriously, it's amazing. Oh, look at that green. Love it. Yeah, that's one of the new ones that I didn't have before for my last video. Oh, see, and this is botanical. So whenever I use a pearl, I'm trying to tell you guys this is a pearl. If I'm not saying that, it's probably just a regular alcohol ink. So I did a blue, I did the pearl, tranquil. Well, first I put the mixative down, the white mixative, snow cap. And then I put the alcohol pearl tranquil on top. And then I just tried these two regular pistachio and botanical ones. Oh, you guys. See, you cannot mix like this because what happens is it reacts with each other, right? With regular alcohol inks. They react too much to each other, which is what people love about them. But it makes it hard to do like layering like this. Oh, I'm going to have so much fun. I'm going to have so much fun. And also, I love that this surface works. So let me go get that package so I can show you guys. I don't want this video to go too long. Okay, so this is what the package looks like. So it's just Kraft, that Kraft brand. 10 chalkboard cardstock, 10 sheets. They're quite thick, actually. Like they're a good thickness. And I bought 2. They're $1.50 in Canada, a Dollarama. So, you know, I need to go buy, I don't know, like 37 more. I'm going to leave you so that you don't have to sit here listening to me make these sounds. But you should get these, and you should get this paper, and we will all have lots of fun together. Look at this flower. Like it looks like, oh, I could put like a stem there. And that's like a perfectly awesome flower. I'm going now, but you can look forward to more videos of this in the future.